Have you ever been lying in bed, completely fine 1 minute, and then out of nowhere, your brain whispers, "What's the point of any of this?" And suddenly you're spiraling. Why am I here? What happens when I die? Am I even living my life right? Your heart starts racing over a question that has no answer. And the scariest part? You can't just think your way out of it, because the thinking is the problem. If this has ever hijacked your peace at 2 a.m., I want you to know something important. This isn't a flaw in you. It's a very specific pattern your mind falls into. And today, we're going to gently untangle it. What you're experiencing has a name in psychology. It's often called existential anxiety. And here's the key thing to understand. It doesn't usually show up because something is wrong with your life. It shows up because, in a quiet moment, your brain suddenly has room to ask questions it can't resolve. Big questions like, what's the meaning of life? Or what happens after death? Aren't logic puzzles. There's no clean answer waiting at the end. But your brain treats them like a problem to be solved, because that's what your brain does best. It solves problems to keep you safe. So it keeps circling and circling, searching for a solution that doesn't exist. And with each loop, your nervous system reads that unresolved searching as danger. Your heart rate climbs, your chest tightens. That's not you losing your mind. That's your body responding to uncertainty the same way it would respond to a real threat. Think of it like trying to reach the end of a hallway that keeps extending every time you take a step. The harder you walk, the more exhausted and panicked you get. Not because you're failing, but because the hallway was never meant to end. Big existential questions work the same way. They're not meant to be finished. They're meant to be lived alongside. Once you understand that, the spiral starts to lose some of its grip. So how do you calm your mind when it's chasing an answer that doesn't exist? Let's walk through a few things that genuinely help. The first is what I call naming the loop. The moment you notice your mind spinning on a big question, gently say to yourself, "This is existential anxiety. My brain is trying to solve something unsolvable." This might sound small, but it does something powerful. It shifts you from being inside the spiral to observing it. Psychologists call this cognitive diffusion, and it works because your brain reacts very differently to a thought you're having versus a thought you're fused with. Naming it creates just enough distance for your nervous system to start settling. The second technique is grounding through the senses. When your mind is stuck in abstract, unanswerable territory, the fastest way out is through your body. Try this. Name 5 things you can see right now, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear. This works because existential spirals live entirely in the abstract, in what-ifs and whys. Your senses can only exist in the present moment. So the moment you engage them, you're pulling your mind out of infinite space and back into your actual, physical life. The third is scheduling the worry. This one surprises people, but it's backed by real research on anxiety management. Instead of trying to force the big questions away, which often makes them louder, give them an appointment. Tell yourself, "I'll think about this at 6 p.m. for 10 minutes. Your brain, strangely, tends to relax once it knows the thought hasn't been ignored, just postponed. It's not suppression, it's containment. And containment gives your nervous system permission to stand down right now. And finally, reframe the question itself. Instead of asking, "What is the meaning of life?" try asking, "What feels meaningful to me today?" This shifts you from an unanswerable cosmic question to a personal, answerable one. You don't need to solve existence. You need to notice what makes today feel worth living. A conversation, a walk, a quiet cup of coffee. Meaning tends to reveal itself in small moments, not in grand conclusions. These 4 steps won't erase the big questions completely, and that's okay. They're not meant to. They're meant to help you hold those questions without being pulled under. If you take one thing from today, let it be this. Your mind isn't broken for asking big questions. It's just trying to protect you the only way it knows how. And you now have real tools to meet that spiral with calm instead of panic. If this topic hit close to home, know that talking to someone can make a real difference. Online therapy is a flexible, accessible option linked in the description whenever you're ready. And if you'd like to explore this further, I've linked some wonderful audiobooks on this exact subject below, perfect for a quiet walk or right before bed. If this helped you, like it, drop a comment telling me what question tends to spiral for you, and subscribe for more videos like this. And remember, you don't need every answer to feel at peace. You need this moment right here to be enough.